Hello, welcome to my Goodyear pecha kucha with me, Francesca Lorden. So in this presentation, I'm going to kind of run through how I plan to approach this brief, and I am going to kick things off by attempting to give you a 40-second Goodyear history lesson. So here we go. This man is Frank Seiberling, no one really knows, and he founded Goodyear in 1898, and the company started off producing carriage tyres and bicycle tyres, but has actually grown to become one of the largest tyre manufacturing companies in the world, which is pretty cool. Over the past 100 years, they've had a lot of achievements. One of these being that they actually created the tyres for the Apollo 14 space moon landing. Hence this picture, dreams can come true. The moon, you get it. It's very impressive stuff. Now, Led Zeppelin, what's kind of like a Zeppelin? A blimp. Blimps are something that Goodyear has used to advertise their brand for a very, very long time, from very early on. And it's a really effective way of advertising, because if you see a giant floating vessel in the sky with a brand's name on it, it's going to catch your attention and you're going to talk about it, as people did. And it actually was a very nice way of creating that sort of brand familiarity and fondness. So it was very effective for them, and still is to this day. Now, moving on to kind of more current advertising, a campaign that Goodyear released recently is this. And as you can see, it's very slick, very imagery based, kind of visually showing the function of each tyre with just a very small piece of copy that kind of reiterates that. But it is a very kind of clear way of showing the functions of the tyres. Interestingly though, Goodyear's opposition, Continental, have done a very, very similar thing. Again, series of images that show the function of each tyre with copy kind of explaining it. So it was quite interesting to see this kind of theme, I guess. Now, this is a very effective VW campaign, which is essentially just saying that you cannot put a price on safety, which I felt was quite relevant to this brief. And it just shows that very clearly through this imagery, again with a small piece of copy, makes it very clear. Now, moving on to my research, I interviewed my mechanic, Paul. Now, Paul and I are not friends on Facebook. Paul does not know that I've taken this picture from his Facebook, but he was very interesting to talk to, because interviewing a mechanic, somebody who works with cars day in, day out, and is very familiar with Goodyear as a brand, was very insightful. Also, I knew that he had no kind of brand loyalty, so he would be very honest about Goodyear. So it was even more impressive when I actually heard what good things he had to say about Goodyear, despite the fact that he, like I say, he had no brand loyalty. So these are some of his top quotes, like gospel truths written in the sky. One of the most interesting ones actually being that he said, if you're buying an expensive car, you are more likely to invest in good tyres. And I thought this was a really good point, actually, because any minute now, here is a list of cars that are like car brands that are fitted with Goodyear tyres as standard, and they're all very much kind of high middle range cars. They're all of a certain standard, quality and price, and so I thought that was very interesting. That sort of association to the brand is with this level of car. So this led me to think about my target audience. Now, if you Google excited business people, some really fun stuff comes up, but this is essentially my target audience is working professionals, middle-aged, kind of in good income jobs, who therefore have more disposable income, who will own this sort of a level of car. And that got me thinking, what do they want? Now, also in my research, I spent a lot of time on car forums, which was really fun. But what I found from that is that people spend a lot of time researching into what is best for their car. And it's kind of like it's their pride and joy, you know. So this led to my insight, which is that people invest money in things they care about. And I think that this is really true. My target audience is people who care about their cars. And so they are more likely to buy Goodyear tyres for them, because it's for something they care about, pretty much. So, this led me to thinking about my strategy. Now, my strategy is essentially to say to my target audience that their car is not complete without Goodyear tyres. And it's kind of, I want it to be quite playful because, like I say, their car is their pride and joy. And so I need to very playfully say, your pride and joy isn't getting the best that it could. So I want the tone of voice to be very personal, very kind of relatable and light. I essentially want to talk directly to the individual about their car, and just very kind of conversational. And so alongside that, I started to think about my proposition. And I know that what I want to say is that this is the final step, the kind of the little sprinkle to make your car, your pride and joy, perfect. And so when thinking about my proposition, I really want to keep this in mind. And then landed on this proposition, the final step. And I feel like this really embodies what I'm trying to say, which is exactly that. It's the final step, you know, it's the final thing to make your car complete. Also, punny and funny driving steps. You get it? So yeah, that's my proposition. And thus ends this pecha kucha on Goodyear. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching. The road ahead is long, but this bit is done, so stay safe. Okay.